Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Every week my wife and I sit down and talk about our business and expenses. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Isaiah. I'm a six-figure shoe seller. And my wife and I decided to create this series in order to document our journey as we ascend a ladder towards financial freedom. The camera's actually not down there, honey. The camera's all the way up here. There we go. but I want to talk a little bit about the last 2 weeks. We did a video last about the month of February, so you guys missed the end of February and then the beginning of March. So I'm gonna talk about that week, and then after talking about that week, I'll talk about the most recent week of March, which is like the 4th to the 10th or something like that. So I'm gonna give you both sets of data. Let's do our Isaiah isn't capping thing first, and then after that we can go from there. So let's get the screen share going. I gotta put my hand right here to make it a little bit easier for me in editing. All right, so first thing first. So from February 26th to March 3rd, we did around $3,800 in sales, almost $3,900 in sales. Our quantity sold was 151 items, and our sales price was $25.70, which is up. It was up by 10%, which is really, really good. The reason for that was I was listing a bunch of shoes that were selling for $35, $40, $45, which was counteracting my markdown sale. Now, when you look at the next week, you're going to see the actual opposite trend. But in our cash flow, which is what I mean by that is simply the amount that eBay pays me, we got about $2,028.37. So that's good. Let's move on to the following week. March 4th to March 10th, we did around $3,600 in sales. We sold the exact same amount, but our ASP was lower. Our ASP was $23.75. The reason for this is I started my markdown sales again, a more aggressive version of them. And I was selling a bunch of items for $8, $9, $11, $12, $17. And that was dragging down the ASP bit by bit by bit. And at that same time, I wasn't putting in as many $40, $50, $60 items into the store. So, and then also during the week of the 4th to the 10th, I'm paying all of my bills during that period of time as well. So I'm not sourcing nearly as much or as aggressively as I am in the other months. In the other weeks of the month. Our cash flow was $1,916.58, which hits our target. Remember, our target is $1,628 per week, and for both of these weeks, we were able to hit the $1,628 target, which is excellent for us. That's what we're looking to do. We're about to go into this sheet. I know that this looks like, oh wow, why is there so much green? Why is there so much red? What's going on here? My goal by the end of this is to make sure that you understand what's going on here. But I kind of like upgraded all of our tracking a little bit to make it easier for both us to make these videos and for us to like make sure we're using our money diligently so we can get out of stage 2 as quickly as possible. Number 1, we had 3 goals for the following week. Not the last video, but the video before that, we set 3 goals. And those 3 goals were 1, to control our leakage. What I mean by leakage is just the amount of money that we're spending on bullcrap. We had one week where we spent like $450 or something on just a bunch of stuff. Our power went out that week, so I'm going to be fair to us. But we want to control how much we're spending on other stuff because that money could be getting used in the business. That money could be getting used on savings. That money could be getting used on, debt. I don't know what could be getting means. Like, I don't think that was a phrase, but whatever. Number 2, we wanted to increase our output substantially. The reason why that one is red is because we didn't do that, and I'm going to explain why over during this kind of video. And then number 3, we wanted to begin our preparations for stage 2, which was saving $17 a day, opening up an additional account, and then begin savings. And that's what we're going to talk about first. So we actually managed to do that. We saved $17 a day every single day. We also was able to put a little bit of extra money in from sales on another platform. I had like a little bit of money on another platform, which I use when I don't want to list something on eBay. And that platform managed to give us like an extra $50 to $60 or so to put into savings. And then we also opened up an account that was a high yield saving, which I think gives us like a little bit over 4%. It's like 4.5% or something like that. I can't share which one that we actually use just for like my wife is going to kill me purposes. She doesn't like, it's like she's down with me talking about numbers kind of, but she doesn't want me to get like, we'll see. Maybe I can convince her over time. Give me time. But we were able to save over the course of that 2 weeks $341.55. Now, this was also at the time where we had to pay all of our bills too. So we paid all of our bills and was still able to save $341, which is good for me. Like I said, I wanted to save $17 a day. I'm kind of doing a marathon here, not trying to like sprint to stage 2 as quickly as possible. Now, if you don't know, I guess I am trying to get there as quickly as possible. I'm just trying to not like go out of business while doing it. Stage 2, or be homeless while doing it. Stage 2, if you guys don't know, is to get 1 month of our, I can just show you what each of the stages are. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right, so stage 1 was pay our bills comfortably. We pulled that off. We needed to hit $7,000 in monthly cash flow, and we did that. But the problem with stage 1 was that it leaves no room for savings or retirement. Stage 2 was we wanted to save to cover a month of both rent, car payments, and utilities. And then stage 3 was to eliminate our high interest debts. That's going to be credit cards, etc. So that's where we're going. We're trying to get to the point where we can pay off our debts without having to go back into debt because we don't have enough money for any emergencies that come up. So we started that journey and we've been pretty successful with it. We haven't like missed the cash flow or anything like that. We're just watching it build slowly but surely now that we're finally out of that position where our expenses are right here and our bills are right here as well. So we're able to do that, and I'm really, really proud of us for that. I want to continue pushing money into savings so that we can, get out of stage 2 as quickly as possible without causing any harm to the business or our living situation. We're going to talk about number 1 now, which was controlling our leakage. How much were we spending? So right here on this right side, I made like a little chart of how much we spent on several different things. I didn't label them, but it doesn't really matter. Week 1, we spent $149.15, which is below our $150 threshold, which is our goal. Week 2, we spent $120.05, which again is below the threshold. However, I'm going to average those two together, which gives us an average weekly spend of $134.60, so $135. We also bought the UFC 299 card because we really wanted to watch it. It was really good, and it was very much worth the $85.59 that we spent. But when you put that into our spending as well, it makes our average spending go to $177.40, which is still within our threshold, so it's totally fine. Our goal, again, was to spend $150 to $200 per week, and we managed to do that, so that's really good.
Woo!
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about what we have down here. Basically, I was watching a bunch of people do, like, cash envelope videos, and they were doing this thing called stuffing, where they take their cash, and they put it into different places, so they can be saving for, like, a $529, saving for this trip they want to go on, saving for, Christmas presents, so on and so forth. And I thought that was very, very interesting because I look at my budget once a month, and usually at the last week of the month, I go, all right, do I have enough money to cover next month's bills? And the answer is usually like, all right, yeah, we're good. So then I pay my bills, or like, uh-oh, I need to sell more items on eBay and get there. But and then I'll just pay off the bills, and then we go from there. However, I was like, what if every single week, which would also make it easier for these videos, what if every single week I took my money and allocated it towards different sectors and different fields? So like our total expenses that I've already allocated for the week was around $1,100.20. I'm sorry, $1,120.44. And that includes several things, like we have to pay our car note, we have to put money in savings. We have like savings is like a bill for us now. So we want to make sure every single week we're putting money in a savings. We had a couple of cars to pay off, and then also like replacing savings. So whenever I take money out of savings, what? Cards, like CARDS.
I heard cars, so I was confused.
Yeah, we don't have a couple of cars. I mean, we're not that rich.
We don't have that.
But so what was I saying? Oh, replacing savings. So we had to pull a little bit of money out of savings just to make sure everything was covered on time. And because of that, I wanted to make sure I put that money back in there rather than just being $170 lower in our savings. We also had to do it. We sent my mom some money for a GoFundMe. My cousin died recently, and she's hosting the funeral for her, and we wanted to, donate to that to kind of help her out as well. Then, we got baby stuff, so on and so forth. So our total expenses was $1,120.44, and our starting balance, the way how I get that, by the way, I take my 3 payouts that you get from the weekend, and then add up my expected payouts for the rest of the week, which is like Tuesday to Friday or whatever, or Wednesday to Friday. And those payouts, I add them all together and I get an amount. So it's not the same as the cash flow number because it doesn't include Saturday, Sunday, because I don't receive the money that I make on Saturday and Sunday. But that gives us around $470 in free cash flow, which I could use for buying inventory. I can use this for saving more aggressively, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of options I can do with that. And the beautiful thing is next week, when we don't have to spend $415 on the car note, we'll be able to put even more money into savings or more money into inventory, more money into the things where we need to put money at. And that might allow us to be able to save, $700, $800, $900 during the course of that week, which puts us in a much stronger position and gets us a lot closer to our stage 2 goal. And then we can start working towards stage 3. Now, this is just a chart. I track this every single week. It's my daily listings, my hours worked, my profit listed, and then my profit per hour, right? This profit per hour is not my realized profit per hour. It's just the profit per hour based on the items that I listed. So like profit generated per hour, for lack of a better term. So total, we listed 136 items in week 1 and 140 items in week 2. That's a problem because our goal, which is why this one is in red, was to list 20 shoes a day and then 10 to 20 clothing pieces a day. So I need water. Thank you, honey. That would be 140 shoes and then like 70 pieces of clothing at minimum, which would be 210 items being listed every single week. So we missed that target pretty substantially. It was mainly because I didn't feel like processing clothing, or I only processed clothing in a day, one of the two, and it made it so that I didn't put out as many items as I should be, and I think my sales are going to start to reflect that. But we're trying to do substantially better this week, even though your boy's a bit exhausted. I worked about 72 hours that week from the 26th to the 3rd, and then about 62 hours the following week. Our average profit generated per hour was $29.61 and $31.21 respectively, which is okay. I think I can get those numbers higher if I can just spend a little bit more time listing per week, and then also like get back into listing my more profitable items like my shoes. And I think that's it for everything on this sheet. I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit, and then we're gonna close out the video. So can I drink some water real quick? Y'all cool with that? Like, can I stay hydrated? All right. Sorry about that. Hopefully that didn't sound nasty on the audio. But all right, there we go. I had to make sure I didn't like release any air on the camera. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what our goal. What am I talking about? Oh, this week. So what I plan on doing this week. So this week, I don't think I'm going to be sourcing any inventory. So hopefully I get to keep all of the money that I receive from this point forward, because I need to like process through all of the clothing that we have. We have like 100 to 200 pieces of clothing sitting in our hallway, and my goal is to get through all of that. And if I'm buying more shoes, I can't get through that inventory. So the goal is to do like 25 to 30 pieces of clothing per day, ideally, and then also try to do about 5 shoes a day so that the store isn't just absent of shoes. So that's it. Like, that's all I really want to do. And then, of course, I want to continue saving and pour as much money into our savings as we can so we can start stage 3. And then once we're done with stage 3, like all of our high interest debts are gone, we get to save for emergency fund, like the big one, and then we can start working on retirement. And I only have a couple more months, like 5 months or so before it's time to actually do that. No, it's not. 6 months, 7 months. By my birthday, I want to start investing into like either stocks or real estate. And for me to do that, I need to be in a position where my birthday's October 31st, by the way. I need to be in a position where I already have those other stages completed, and now I'm able to pour money towards investing. So that's it. That's our only goals for this week. It's simply to make sure that I get through all of my clothing. So I want to be doing 25 to 30 pieces of clothing per day. And then number 2 is going to be to do 5 shoes a day, I guess, and make sure that we're saving so that we can continue working towards getting out of stage 2 and entering stage 3. So hopefully this was valuable to you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
Peace.